Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Pat Fuller and Jim Molnar there with JRC. And we're talking about Women in History Month. If you're just joining us, it's March 8th at the Cultural Center for the Arts. You can get all the details at jrccares.org, but it sounds like a really awesome day. Now, aside from all the fun, and there will be lots of fun, you get down to some serious business. You really do some honoring of women, don't you?
We do. We have 2 honorees this year, and we have been doing honorees for the last few years. We picked some people from the community who've been involved with the JRC program who have done outstanding work. And this year we have 2. Denise Scala has been active in the community, but very active at the JRC. She's a past chairman of the event. And she's been, again, active in the community, but she's also a registered nurse. Our second honoree is Kathy Strong. Kathy's quite amazing. She started in the JRC with Father Coleman in 1974, and she continued to work there through her retirement in 2010 as the executive director. So she's implemented a large number of programs and ideas and things even after Father Coleman passed away. So she's an outstanding person, and we're delighted that we can honor her this year as well.
These kinds of people usually are so humble that it's fun when they're told that they're getting this kind of a recognition, and their responses are usually, as you can expect, so humble. Tell me how they responded when you told them this was happening to them.
Actually, I wasn't present when they were honored, but I do know that when they were given the information, they were very humble about it. And they basically don't think they've done anything.
Right.
And actually, they have done a tremendous amount for the program. So in the fundraising end as well as in the school program. So it's very nice that we're able to honor them.
It's very cool. Again, it's March 8th. Circle that on your calendar. March 5th is when you need to have your reservation by. Reservations are only $45, and you can get them at jrccares.org. The money, then, that is raised at this, we know that it is helping with the JRC Learning Center and New Learning Center and Adult Day Center. Specifically, what kinds of things does this fund?
Well, really what it funds is what's unique about JRC is it's a 5-star to step up to quality learning center. Which means, among other things, that they keep up with all the new trends and all the new learning styles, just as Pat had described before. But it also means that every 2 years they need to go back for more education.
Mm-hmm.
And
can I park right there for 1 second?
Yeah.
Because I've had people come in here bragging about their facility being a 3-star or a 4-star, which is also really good. But you are a 5-star. I don't think they get any better than 5-star, do they?
That's the top. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we are proud. Kelly Davis is the director at the Learning Center, and she's done an amazing job, and so are all the staff there. They're just wonderful people. And part of the wonderment is, like we said, the money goes there, but FinMango, we bring them in, and FinMango is a financial literacy group. We've partnered with Target and with Citizens Bank, and we have, I think it's 30 students last year. Ages around 5 to 12, they got money to go and spend for gifts for themselves, their families, not so much themselves, but for their families and their friends. I had a young man who spent half of his time trying to find a toy for his friend so they could play together because he knew his friend couldn't have anything or as much as he would at Christmas time. Now, in amongst that, FinMango has taught them to donate. So a portion of their funds actually went to the Ronald McDonald House in Akron, and I just recently got a thank you from the executive director there.
Now, what age group are they working with when they're giving financial literacy?
This is 5 years old to 12 years old.
Really?
Yes. And I actually sat in on a couple of the learning sessions, and they do. They take the colors, the numbers, things off walls. They look at the newspapers for ads. It's a wonderful experience.
Now, this might be education that even those little ones' parents haven't received. So is there any plan to teach the moms and dads how as well, or are the kindergartners going to teach mom and dad how to budget?
Well, that's funny you said that because it's always a family learning experience,
Yes.
and at the end of the day, we always encourage the parents to learn more about what we've shared. We have them take things home. Part of our Healthy Habits for a Lifetime, which is healthier food. It's not as much processed food. We actually had one young lady who went to a restaurant and they asked her what she wanted, and she said, "I want tilapia because I had it at school." And the parents were flabbergasted at tilapia, and I'm flabbergasted that a young lady that young could say tilapia, let alone know what it is and enjoy it. But that's the kind of things that they're doing at JRC.
Oh, that's fantastic. Take us through a day. What's it like? Well, a 6-week-old baby, what does their day look like?
Well, basically, they're swaddled in from their parents, and they're in the nursery. We have about 14 different classrooms, and we actually have a family-style lunch. So there's no cafeteria. Everybody is fed in their classrooms. And for, babies, they're pretty much sleeping and burping and doing what babies do. And then as they work their way up, they go through a Head Start program and then into the preschool. And in the preschool, they can go to the intergenerational program and then the before and after school program. And from there, then they kind of graduate and go on to whatever school they're in. And we have from 14 different school districts in the area. It's not just that neighborhood. It's for Stark County primarily, but we have other facilities, not facilities, but other places that neighborhoods that their kids attend.
Yeah, so you're keeping children entertained and busy all day long throughout the day, so they're not on their own thinking up things to do at their own devices. They are busy through, you say, through 6th grade, and there's an after-school program there as well.
Right.
Then hopefully in 7th grade, they're starting to get into sports and some after-school things there at school.
Right.
So there's always so they're busy until mom and dad get home from work.
Exactly. Or school. A lot of these parents are parents that not only juggle work, but they juggle school as well. And that's why the program where we give out the donations or scholarships, it pays both ways.
Let's talk about that, because kids are getting educated and their parents are getting educated at the same time.
Right.
How's that work?
Well, basically, it allows the parents to go back to school. And one thing that we've always encouraged in this area, and we look for more, is having people be educated at the secondary school level and then up through the college, but then remain in the area. And I think we're helping to do that. The second learning center that we're hoping to open at the Myers Lake Ballroom will service not only downtown, but the 2 hospitals, as well as hopefully the Football Hall of Fame village that's coming around the corner. And it's to serve, again, the neighborhood, but also all those individuals, both the seniors at one end, the toddlers at the other end, and the sandwich generation in between, which are really the ones that we find we're helping most of all.
That's neat. And you've got a perfect commercial in Para Jones, because she is right there from Stark State, basically saying, here are a million ways to make your life better.
Exactly.
You mentioned some videos. We're going to get to hear from some of the people who benefit from JRC.
No, actually, there are videos of showing the children playing, showing the center so that people are not familiar with the facility itself, what goes on there, what's happening. There also is a little bit of information with pictures with the intergenerational, some of the grandparents with some of the children. So it's a nice video, but not necessarily. We have some people who have gone through the program and are now adults, are going to a secondary school, another school area, not necessarily college, but trade schools after going to high school. So they did come through the program, and they have been interviewed. We haven't been able to get any to come because they're working to come to the luncheon, but there are
But
some
that's a good
grown
thing,
up
isn't
now
it?
already. Yes.
Very, very cool. I'm curious, again, as to how many staff you have that are working with this number of children and this wide of an age range. What's your staff look like, Jim?
Well, our staff, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you how many are actually at the Learning Center, but we have at least 14 classrooms and 2 or 3, a main teacher in each classroom and an associate, and then 1 or 2 helpers. So it's around 50 for the Learning Center itself. And we have enrolled in, last year, it was over 300 students that were there.
That's my very next question. How many children?
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of responsibility. What
Yes.
kind of are you able to talk about safety measures to make sure every child is really getting good attention? And
Well, again, when you walk in, you have to go through a process of you sign in, get your kid to where they're at, and then when pick up, the same way, turn around. We have a front desk, and we have the facility it's nice and enclosed, but a lot of windows, so you can see the different classrooms. And we do have safety factors involved, and that's the same at the adult day center as well. There's easy access to it to come right off the street, engagement from people who just drop their parents off, or from like SARTA. But at the same time, we make sure that they're not just leaving. They have to have someone there to pick them up. And so safety is, of course, utmost. And built in with the safety is we don't have playgrounds anymore. We have naturescapes. So it's all natural. We have indoor and outdoor playgrounds. And that's a kind of thing we want to duplicate again at the Myers Lake Ballroom area.
How very cool. Can anyone come and take a tour and see what you have?
Just call ahead. Call me again, 330-455-3873. And extension 406, and I'd love to give you on a tour. And I know Kelly, who is the director of the Learning Center, or Melanie Griffith, who heads the Adult Day Center, would be happy to give you a tour.
Very cool. This must resonate so much with you, Pat, being an educator. Let's talk a little bit about your career and how it took you into this realm of volunteerism.
Basically, when I was little, I played teacher in school all the time. I had all of the books actually still from when I was in first grade. I've always been in education. I started out in a kind of a confluent path, but I got there slowly but surely. And so I taught junior high, I taught high school children, and then I graduated to adult children when we moved here. I taught the staff in my husband's office how to use the computer and got into computer activities. And then I started teaching at Stark State, basically, in their community ed program, and taught a large number of adults in the community how to use the computer and software. So I did that for a while, and now that I'm retired, my husband's retired, we have a little bit more time, but I started volunteering at Amherst School with my grandchildren, and I'm still there. So the principal kids me every once in a while that I'm still in the kindergarten.
Yes.
But,
having taught at the college level and kindergarten, there's very little difference.
Very little difference.
Just the size, just the height.
Just the amount of material, but it's very similar.
But you can say, because you've worked so much with adults, how important the fundamentals are. You want to touch on that a bit?
It's extremely important. We watch children in the kindergarten who are having trouble. In the fourth grade, those same children are having trouble. So those children maybe came into kindergarten, they didn't know their colors, they didn't know their numbers, they weren't sure about things. Maybe they weren't watching TV much or listening to video games or whatever. So they were pretty isolated, perhaps. It does carry through as adults. So there's a huge amount of research that shows that children who are nurtured while they're young, the amount of information that they can use. My granddaughter was able to change and adjust the sound on my smartphone. When my grandson was 5 years old, he took a large number of my icons on my phone and put them in a folder. So they are capable. Yes. The children today are reading when they get out of kindergarten, second grade level.
Wow.
So it's extremely important. The basic preschool education is huge.
Yeah, well, and building stronger communities by building stronger children.
Well, we have one, her name's Jasmine Thomas, and she actually went to the center, and now she's a registered nurse in the area. That's just one of a dozen different examples.
Yeah, awesome. Well, it is the 22nd annual JRC Women in History Luncheon. You'll be supporting all the great activities of the Learning Center and Adult Day Center of JRC. Go to the Cultural Center for the Arts on March 8th. Doors open at 10:30. Plenty to do and lots of ways to donate. Tickets are only $45 each. Go for all the information and to make your reservations at jrccares.org. Pat Fuller, Jim Molnar, thank you for all you do in our community.
Thank you.